You know that feeling, right? When you're just surrounded by clutter and it feels completely paralyzing. You find yourself wishing a fairy godmother would just poof into existence and fix it all. Well, you are definitely not alone. In this explainer, we're diving into Sandra Felton's book, Organizing Magic, to show you that the real magic wand, it's been in your hand this whole time. Let's get into it.
Yeah, it's a feeling a lot of us know probably a little too well. You look around and the mess just seems to have a life of its own, and you feel totally powerless against it. So you just find yourself waiting for motivation to strike, for help to arrive, for some kind of magical intervention to just swoop in. It's basically a fairy tale fantasy playing out in our very real, very cluttered lives.
So the author, Sandra Felton, she kicks off her book with this amazing comparison of herself to Cinderella, sitting there in the ashes. And I mean, how relatable is that? That feeling of being totally stuck, of putting in the work but just not seeing any real change in your surroundings. It's such a powerful image because it just nails that sense of frustration perfectly. Okay, but this is where things get interesting. This is where the whole story flips. The book asks this really simple but kind of profound question. What if you just stopped waiting? What if you stopped waiting for someone else to come and perform the magic? This right here is the turning point, the moment we shift from just wishful thinking to actual empowerment. And that really gets us to the heart of what organizing magic is all about. The real magic, the stuff that actually changes your life, it's not coming from some mythical godmother or a team of helpful elves. The power to create order, to create that sense of calm in your own home, it comes from you. It has to start with you. Felton talks about her own big aha moment. She realized that the fairy godmother, well, she was never coming. The true magic, the real transformation, it only started when she realized that she was the one who had to pick up the wand and take control. And that mental switch, that's everything. It's the absolute first step to getting your house in order. So when we talk about organizing, what do we really mean? Well, the book gives us this awesome, super practical definition. This isn't about being perfect or just piling more chores onto your to-do list. Not at all. It's about being proactive. It's about doing something smart now so that your life is easier later on. Now that sounds like a goal I can get behind. Okay, so if we're the magicians now, what are the spells? Right, this is where we get into the nitty-gritty. The book's going to pull back the curtain on these super simple, almost invisible habits that naturally tidy people just do every single day. First things first, you gotta name your enemy. And the author has the perfect name for it. Oozing. How great is that term? It's that slow, sneaky creep of clutter. The keys that land on the counter, the jacket draped over a chair, the mug in the living room. It's when your stuff just oozes out of its proper home and starts taking over everything. So how do you fight the ooze? Well, it's not about some huge weekend-long cleaning marathon. It's about small, consistent actions. The first one is simple. Just put things away the second you're done with them. The next is building in a quick 5-minute pickup sweep before dinner or before you go to bed. And I absolutely love the sheepdog analogy. You're just constantly, gently nudging your stuff back where it belongs. Okay, so secret number 1 is a big one. Tidy people, they're just more efficient. They literally take fewer steps. So when they make coffee, that empty sugar packet goes straight in the trash. The milk goes right back into the fridge. See, they build the put-away step right into the first action, which means they don't have to circle back and do it later. So smart. All right, secret number 2 is all about doing things now. It's about immediacy. When the dishwasher is done, they unload it. When the dryer buzzes, they fold the clothes right then and there. They just knock out these little jobs immediately. And that stops that big, overwhelming pileup from ever happening in the first place. And this might be the most important secret of them all. A really simple system, one that's not even perfect, but that you use all the time, that is always going to beat a perfect system you only use once in a blue moon. Forget about perfection. Seriously, consistency is the real magic here. Okay, so this isn't a one-size-fits-all deal. Not at all. We've all got different personalities, right? The book is really clear on this. The best system for you is one that actually works with your personality, not against it. Let's look at a couple of these styles. So, which one sounds more like you? Are you the planner? The one who needs a big calendar and a clear game plan to feel like you've got things handled? Or maybe you're the vigilant one who just has this running mental list and you just pounce on a task the second it pops into your head. The thing is, neither one is better. They both work. The whole point is stop fighting who you are and start using it to your advantage.
But no matter what your main style is, the book says there's one we all need to get good at, and that's being a focuser. This just means getting really good at figuring out what's actually important and not letting all those little tiny tasks eat up all your time and energy. It's all about prioritizing with purpose. Okay, so we've talked about the mindset, we've talked about the habits of tidy people, but where do you actually start? Well, this last part gives us some really simple, concrete spells you can use to get the ball rolling, like right now.
I love this. This is such a great mental flip. That feeling of being annoyed by the clutter, instead of letting it crush you, you're going to use it as fuel. That frustration you feel when you can't find your keys or you trip over shoes, let that be the energy that pushes you to finally make a change. You're basically turning a bad feeling into your superpower.
And look, this shows you just how easy it is to get started. Seriously, forget trying to fix your entire house in one afternoon. The book says to try one of these 3 simple spells. First, just pick one little habit and level it up. Second, make a quick stop, start, continue list to focus your energy. Or you can do the easiest one of them all. Right now, as you're listening, just put one thing away. That's it. That little action, it builds momentum. It gives you an instant win. It feels good.
And we're going to wrap this up with a really beautiful idea from William Morris, because it just perfectly captures what this is all really about. See, organizing isn't just about making things neat. It's about creating a life where you're only surrounded by things you find useful or things you believe are beautiful. So the real question isn't just, what can I clean up? It's, what in my house has actually earned the right to be here?